Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any of our platforms. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing details. Today we are discussing a lovely Patek Philippe Calatrava. This is the 5107 1J-001. This is the original version of the watch, launched in 2000, made through 2006. It was the predecessor of the 5127, and it is a watch that I consider to be the quintessential modern Calatrava. So you've got a 37mm yellow gold case. It's only 9mm thick from lug tip to lip tip. It is 46.8mm, and lug tip to lug tip is the measurement because you can see the bracelet end links don't project beyond the case. We have a spacing of 20mm between the lugs. This one's on a full bracelet, so it is a /1J rather than just a 5107J. Taking a look, it fits easily underneath the cuff. You can see that well. It's not excessively broad across the wrist. Down the barrel, you'll note that the lugs are nowhere near the edge of my wrist. I can recommend this watch even on the bracelet for a wrist as small as 13.5 centimeters circumference. A timepiece, nicely counterweighted. You can wear it loose because the bracelet and the clasp counterweight the watch head. It is a lovely design. Taking a quick look at those links, you can see that they are evacuated to add greater flexibility to the bracelet and breathability to the bracelet. And they have a wonderful sort of bounding wave-like form as they run down towards the clasp. Patek doesn't fix removable links with screws anymore, but you can see once upon a time they did. And if you look carefully, you can see that the screws themselves are actually white gold to be mechanically harder than yellow gold and better suited to interacting with a screwdriver. Internally, we have a fascinating material. This is traditional unplated white gold. You've heard of rhodium plated white gold, and you've seen the look of rhodium, which is blindingly white like platinum, but this is what traditional white gold looks like without the rhodium plating. So you're wondering, why is it here? Well, because white gold is the hardest gold and the least likely to bend. So for these delicate hinged components and the chassis of the clasp, Patek has used white gold for strength. That's why it's here. Now, when all of this closes, there is a clamshell that falls down, snaps into place, and locks it shut. So you have quite a good deal of security there with that clasp. The crown guard profile on a Calatrava is a distinctive look. There are several different Calatravas. There's this one. There is the straight lug hobnail bezel look. There's the original 96 with integrated lugs, no crown guards, small second leaf hand. I've always liked these because these seem very practical. This is almost like what a Datejust wants to be when it grows up. Now, the distinctive feature of the 5107 versus the later 5127 and 5227 is that the bezel on the 5107 is super flat, almost completely flat. That's always the calling card of this model. We have faceted yellow gold dart style indices, faceted Dauphine hands. The faceting makes them contrast better with the off-white dial base, and then dimple-style seconds and minutes outboard. Fascinating thing, this watch. 30 meters water resistant, but you can see it has a screwed-in caseback and a screw-down crown. I suspect this is a very stiff and literal 30 meters compared to something with a snapback and a push-down crown. Now, there's a little disc with a date, and this does have a quick-set system. It does not have stop seconds, though folks who know these movements well know you can stall the seconds hand almost on command if you wish to synchronize. So there's a hacking hack you can use if you're familiar with the 315s and the 324s. And this is the 315 right here. This is the 3 hertz predecessor of the later 324. So automatic winding with unidirectional winding action. It's got a 3 hertz beat rate rather than 4. You can see it's got the Geneva hallmarks. All these watches were made prior to 2009. Remember, this was a 00 to 2006 build. You've got the Gyromax free sprung balance, a distinctive engineering tradition that makes for greater durability against shock and more precise regulation of the watch in its chronometer style 5 positions. And you have that variable inertia Gyromax style balance. It's protected against shock because there's no regulator to move if you shock the watch. And then it's nicely decorated movement with a combination of hand and mechanical technique applied to make it beautiful, as you'd expect from a Patek Philippe. And then again, this has a 45 to 48 hour power reserve. Figure about 45 hours best case scenario, and if the date's turning over in the middle of the night as the power runs down, it could be as little as 35 to 38. So consider this power reserve to be more of a range than a fixed number. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.